Okay, guys. So, how do you like the conference?
I'm really impressed, really like the speakers. Unfortunately, we were only here today, but I think I see a lot of commonalities between designing quickly and all on one location, etc., and developing quickly instead of long design cycles. So I really like it, yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, same for me. I was surprised to hear that UX in Poland is just only emerging if you compare to, countries like the UK or Holland, where we come from. And what I sense is that there's already a very deep understanding of the domain, even though the professionals working in the domain are doing this only for a few years. So it's quite encouraging if you regard it from a more generic or universal perspective. Yeah.
Okay, Jeroen, you work for TomTom, yeah? So, how different is the approach between designing navigation applications for smartphones and dedicated devices?
Well, you would expect that there's a big difference, but actually there's not that much of a difference, because the main goals for our software are primarily to take people from A to B, so help them make the best choices in transportation. The dedicated device, or the P&D as we call it, the personal navigation device, is solely for the trip experience, so really for the part in the car, where the smartphone has a bit of a broader functionality, also supporting the user in the pre and the post part of a trip. So preparing for your trip, exploring where you maybe want to go, or finding out what the traffic situation is, and making decisions based on that. And the post part is more about, okay, I experienced some traffic and I want to share this with the community. I can do this in the phone as well. So it's the phone obviously has a bit of a broader functionality.
Okay, Iris, how do you evaluate your work? Is it based on KPIs, or you have some other methodology, let's say?
Yeah, we definitely based around different KPIs. I think one of them is user satisfaction. So we measure user satisfaction on different parts of the website all the time. So we have a questionnaire running with several questions, really deep diving in what the user came to do on their site, so what their needs were and how they liked it, if they succeeded. So we're looking at that all the time. In user testing, we don't really have KPIs. We do user testing all the time. But we don't really have standards to say, okay, this is good enough. I think it's more, a feel of the whole product team than really exact measurement of when we make the step towards building it. And obviously, in the end, it's revenue. And more people on the website, more revenue.
Okay, and the last question. Are there any books, any articles maybe that you would recommend to our attendees that's on UX, or maybe something else you would like to share with us?
Well, not specifically a book about the field, but I'm currently really hooked onto detectives. So Wallander by Mankell, it's a Swedish writer, and while reading it, there's a lot of parallels I see in the work that a detective has in investigating and exploring before drawing the right conclusions and making an arrest in his case. But what I find striking is that there's a lot of empathy involved as well, and this is maybe a lesson that we can learn from another industry or another field of work that can have a big influence, or at least another way of looking at our work, if you look at user experience. So really the amount of empathy that is involved in trying to understand why something happened and why people behaved or performed in a way that they did.
Thank you. And Iris, how about you?
Well, I have one which is called Build to Last. It's already an old book, but it's really explaining good companies, but how to get great companies. How do you get from good to great? And actually what you read in the book is that those companies don't necessarily have really big visions or strategies or very really charismatic people in the top, but they really look very well at the market and their users and see what really are untapped areas they need to jump into, and they just try and trial and error, but they just go, and that works actually very well.